What's up, everyone? Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button and that notification button for more updates, movie reviews that I do, and short films that I create. It means a lot. And to those who have been watching me and supporting me, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hit that comment section. I will get back to you. Keep it professional. And let's get straight to it. Captain America: Brave New World. I really enjoyed it a lot. You know, the MCU films have been a hit and miss, but this particular film in general, being the recent new one, I was a little, unsure, but watching it, I was surprised, and it's my third favorite Captain America movie. We have 4 films of Captain America, 3 with Chris Evans, and the one with Anthony Mackie, and I would put Anthony Mackie, as I said, in the third one. It's Winter Soldier, Civil War, Brave New World, and The First Avenger. And that's not to say that The First Avenger isn't a good film, or I didn't enjoy it, but I would put Brave New World for reasons of my own. I thought the cast was great though for Brave New World. You know, a lot of new actors and returning actors, whether it's a big role like Samuel Stearns, aka the leader, who was in The Incredible Hulk, and you didn't hear from him at all after what happens to him with the blood seeping into his head and doing something. You didn't get anything from Samuel Stearns. Now he returns because he wants to take revenge on Thunderbolt Ross, played by Harrison Ford, who I thought did an amazing job. I really enjoyed him in this role. And he takes, revenge on Ross for not giving him his freedom. He said he would, if he helped him, if Samuel Stearns helped him, build weapons, and, once he becomes president, he would give him his freedom, and he didn't do that, and now Samuel Stearns takes revenge, and that's what's happening in the film. He's the reason why he becomes the Red Hulk. He didn't know what was going on. He thought he was just taking pills to help him with his heart, but in taking those pills, it was giving him gamma, and, the anger, when he becomes angry and rising, obviously, he would Hulk out. So I thought that was pretty cool because I wasn't sure how they were going to do that. I think in the comic, he might have injected or did some experimentation or injected himself and becomes Red Hulk, but whatever. I thought he did a great job, Harrison Ford, and it was great to see the Samuel Stearns character, who's the leader, which he never goes by his name as the leader. He went by the buyer at one point, and I'll get back to that in a little bit. I forget the actor's name, but it's the same actor from The Incredible Hulk, so it was cool to see him. The Betty Ross character, played by Liv Tyler, who was also in The Incredible Hulk, returns in the cameo. I would have loved to see more of her, but it was good to see her even in that cameo. Joaquin Torres, who plays the new Falcon, who was in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, now has a bigger role. It was good to see him back again, and I think he's a great addition to the MCU. Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie, I thought did a phenomenal job as, of course, Sam. He's been doing Sam for so long, but this, he really came into his own as a leader and just the character of Sam Wilson, as of course it follows the comics. Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson, I think is a great Captain America. I don't understand the hate. People, they don't really care for the film. I don't understand the hate for the film. I think it did a great job in bringing back moments that we haven't seen, characters that we haven't seen, like the celestial Tiamat that was coming out of the earth, where you just see the hand, and it's never talked about in any of the films. I don't recall if they may have showed maybe a snippet on a camera, on a TV, or a post. It would have been great in the other films if they would have talked about it. But I heard from what I read, like the director said, the reason why they never really had them in the other films was because they wanted one film to at least focus on it, and instead of just bringing it up or something like that. But whatever, it was great to see it back. And, this time the focus is adamantium. The countries, they're trying to get to this, the celestial island is called Tiamat, because he holds this new element, which is adamantium. So now we have introduced adamantium into the fray, because of course now the whole X-Men and such is owned by Disney Studios, Marvel. So now they can introduce X-Men and introduce adamantium. So that's cool. That's a little tease for the X-Men. And of course, who's well known for adamantium? Wolverine. So that's the whole idea of just trying to get to this island, or at least share the idea of adamantium versus someone claiming the island. But of course, the leader he's trying to just shut down Thunderbolt Ross, who's the president, and embarrass him and make him look bad. Yeah, so you have a lot of new characters. You have this other character, I think Sabra is her name. I believe she works for Thunderbolt Ross. She used to be ex-Black, from the Black Widow program. She used to be an ex-Black Widow. You know, some people say she was unnecessary or unbelievable as someone who could have been Black Widow. And you never know. You know, she's short and, small, petite, and you may look at her like, really? But you just never know what anybody in real life, they can surprise you, especially with training. But I mean, a lot of people say she was unnecessary. I wasn't bothered by her presence. Could I have done without her? Sure, I would. I didn't think I needed her, but having her, I'm not like I didn't need her. It was, I didn't care for her. You have Isaiah Bradley character, who was also in the Falcon Winter Soldier, who was the first experimented super soldier, not Captain America, but he was just forgotten and left jailed or so. So in the Falcon Winter Soldier, he gets his freedom. In this film, he's brainwashed like others by Samuel Stearns, aka the leader, to take out Ross, or at least kind of, set it up. But in the end, after he goes to jail, he gets rescued by Sam. He gets not rescued, but he's released because Sam was able to prove evidence that he was not trying to kill the president and whatnot. So a happy ending for him. But it was good to see him return, get a line of the spotlight, and not just from the show. Again, a lot of characters returning. But I had fun with it. It was that sense of, of course it has political themes, but I wasn't bored by the political themes. I wasn't bothered by it. Some people's like, why do we need that whole politics and whatnot within the film? And it looks like the characters are speaking to us about what's, about things, and why do we need that? And to be honest, I don't like that, but I wasn't bothered by it in this film. I kind of took it away and just saw it as for what it is. It is a Captain America film. There's going to be politics and whatnot involved. So it didn't bother me. And if the character has a montage where they're talking and it may feel like it's talking to us, well, it's the real world. It's the thing that's, it's the real world. It's what's going on. And sometimes it's meant for the positive. Like, why be bothered by that? And if it seems like it's catering to maybe one agenda or so, then maybe, but I didn't feel a type of way about it. I was okay with the whole montage that may have seemed like it was talking to us. But you had those elements where there was montage, characters talking, but it really was, to me, expanded what's going on in this new world, like a brave new world, and just what's happening in the MCU. One of the things that people complain about are plot holes. How does the world know that Tiamat, the Celestial, coming out? How do they know what to call about Celestial Island? They don't know Celestials. Well, here's the thing. I've grown to learn not to be spoon-fed watching films. Sometimes you just gotta open your mind and think about things that might have, especially since it's a broad set of films, a world, the MCU, the universe, you can just, have to like go back. Who knows about Celestials? Doctor Strange should know about Celestials. He knows about the stones, them. Peter Quill, who's now on Earth and has been with the Avengers, could have brought it up to them, especially Gamora when she meets, Tony's and all that, or any of the, would have to mention Celestials because they know about the Celestials, Star-Lord and them, and confronting the Avengers and whatnot, and the Avengers could have told the government what's going on. Like, they would know about the Celestials. How could they not know about Celestials? Especially in the Eternals, which, there's another thing that we haven't gotten a sequel of, which I wasn't a fan of, but of the first film. But when in the end credits, I believe one of the credits, the big Celestial comes to grab the three Eternals, people saw that giant in space, the outline, so they would know that that's something out there, which is, this looks familiar, the Titan that's stuck, it looks like that thing that was out there, like it could be, related or so. They would know what a Celestial is, so they could call it Celestial Island. They don't tell us that, but there are things in the universe that we've seen that is like they could have told each other that that's Celestial, so we're going to call it Celestial Island. You just got to think about it. Some people don't like to think, and that's fine, I guess, but it's not like it's necessarily a plot hole. I think there was another plot hole that I could have explained, and I forget about it. But I was okay. Oh, well, in the end credits for the leader, and this is what I meant by the buyer, I'll get back to that. In end credits, the leader mentions that there are other worlds, and obviously that Sam and Cole would have to fight against the inhabitants of that world. Now, how would he know that there's other worlds coming, that there would be a clash? Is he psychic, or he can see into the future? Or like, what is the capacity of his brain? He's just super smart, can think of probabilities high. He doesn't peer into the future, but how would he know this? What kind of ending was that that he would bring this up? It just out of nowhere. Like, not one, Sam wouldn't know, but he would know that there's something going on in No Way Home in New York when the whole thing was ripping apart the universe. Like, it's, the villains were going to come in from other universes. Of course, we saw the Spider-Man character, the villains, Rhino and some, them. People would have seen that and know something's going on. Obviously, Doctor Strange, probably if he spoke to anybody or anything, would know, like, hey, there's a incursion going on. There was this thing that happened. We need to lock, there's just something that's going on with this universe. So somehow Samuel Stern would have to know about these things. He's been in the side, in the background. He can get information and intel to know that something's going on. Someone, I think might have been the buyer in one of the old shows, Disney shows. There was someone that was considered the buyer in one of the old shows, excuse me. He could have been that character, the buyer, but we just didn't know because we don't hear it until the name of the buyer until this film. I forget what show it was. It might have been, I don't think it was Captain America, no, the Falcon and Winter Soldier. But one of the shows, they say the buyer. And it could have been Samuel Stearns. He's been in the background. He would hear things. He would know things. So my thing is that if he's having the probability that this other world would, come, there would be a battle because they're trying to save their worlds, he would probably know this through what's been happening from the shows and the other movies, that he's just, that probability of what could possibly be. How would he know that? That's my only best way to explain it. Through other characters and, seeing things that have been happening. What he know about, I think it was Ant-Man and the Wasp. The buyer was mentioned, I believe. I forget the name of the character that brings it up. He was played by Walter Goggins, that character. But he would probably know about the quantum realm too, and so, like, that whole thing, it's just that he's been around and he would just have heard about things, and that's where that probability that he knows that something's probably coming and that's going to happen. Not that he peers into the future. Hopefully that makes sense of what I'm saying. So the idea is that you have to open your mind that this is a vast universe. Characters have been fed information. We've been given information. You can say, oh, but why do we got to think about that? I shouldn't have to think. Fair enough, but why not? It's there. If they spend too much time feeding us things, then it's like, it gets to the point where it's like, yeah, we know about this already. So that's just my take on it. I don't really think there were much plot holes. People were saying, oh, they went through reshoots, and you could feel that it went through the reshoots. I honestly didn't notice. I heard that the Serpent Society, a group, was supposed to be in the film, and you didn't see them. I think the only one member was Giancarlo Esposito. I forget the name of his character, but he was a cool character. He was in it. I guess he was the only Serpent Society member, unless he's a separate character, but I believe he was from that group. But they cut out the others, which kind of sucks because as an actor, if you've done your part and you wanted to be seen, but they were cut out. Maybe in an extended edition, they'll have them in it and deleted scenes. But yeah, I had fun with the film. I thought it was action packed and it had a lot going for it. I had no problems. I don't understand what the complaints are. I mean, some people could be like, you kind of know why the complaints are, but there are valid complaints that people have that has nothing to do with race or so. But even those complaints, I'm still like, maybe you're just not really, you're maybe a little too, I don't know. I can't, it's their opinion, but I just feel like it's not necessarily valid. I mean, mine might not be valid as well, but I know I enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it and you're here getting spoiled for yourself, I haven't really gotten so much into what happens, but from what I said, I just say check it out for yourself if you haven't. But if you have, let me know what you think. I appreciate it. That's my take on it. I give Captain America Brave New World 2 thumbs up. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me. Please hit the subscribe button and that notification for more updates once again. Thank you. Until next time. Later.